What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another All Elite Wrestling Dynamite review. We're here the Wednesday after Revolution. As you know, a very good show, in my opinion. Which had one thing to clear up, and that was the finish of the main event. But did Dynamite deliver? I think it did. I think it was a very good show. And let's just crack on with the review. So, the show started right out the gate with Matt Jackson versus Rey Fenix in a very, very good singles match. This was, very similar to the match that Nick had with Phoenix over a year ago, back on episode 8 of Dynamite, I believe. They just, it was a really, really, really good match. A lot of everything you'd expect to see, a lot of counters, a lot of flips, a lot of reversals, a lot of really, really athletic stuff. The finish, there was some, interference as well from Pac and Nick on the outside. Some dives to take out the other person's tag partner. But the finish came when Matt was looking for the tombstone. Phoenix sort of flipped back, caught him up over his shoulder, kneed him, and then dropped him down with a sort of sit-out Michinoku pile driver type of deal. And Rey Fenix picked up the win to start the show. We then hear from Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley, and King cuts this promo. He cuts this absolutely incredible promo. And he immediately saves this angle. Would I have preferred to have seen the show end with Mox in the ring and then the ring actually explodes? Yeah, 100%. Because they would have got the visual that we were all expecting. But Eddie Kingston managed to turn this around amazingly. He talked about the last time, he talked about passing out in the ring, and he goes, as I was there, holding my dear friend, this wave of anxiety came over me, and I remember being in the cells. And when I was in the cells, the anxiety got too much and I blacked out, and the same thing happened there. I was so panicked for my friend. I wanted to protect him to the point that I passed out. And not only did Eddie Kingston save this angle, but he just opened up a very real and genuine conversation about mental health live on TV. And it was absolutely incredible. Then him and Mox just sort of bullshit for a bit and rip the past Impact paid for the bomb. That makes sense. And they're just making fun of each other, making fun of the spot. But King managed to turn it around fully. And whoa, I can't. This was amazing. This was really, really good. Cody Rhodes had a match then against a local jobber, which he won in under a minute. He hit a kick, then a running power slam, then a figure four, and that was it. That was that. Then Tony Schiavone gets in the ring. His mic's not working. Cody gets him a new mic, and he goes to ask him some questions. Before he can really get any answers, Penta cuts him off. Penta was up at the Spanish announce desk with Alex Abrahantes. And Alex becomes his translator. And, he says, you want to call yourself the king of pro wrestling? Well, I'm the Lord of Lucha Libre. Just saying all this stuff. And then eventually, Penta just stops getting Alex to translate. He goes, I'm going to speak in your language. You think you're so good? Well, your shoulder's hurt. If you keep talking all this mess, I'm going to break your arm so you can't hold your baby girl. And then Cody just runs out to the crowd, and there's a big old pull-apart brawl. And Brian Pillman Jr. was there, and he just kind of walked past, and he was like, not getting involved. The mullet looks too good right now. We then go to an arcade, and Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor are there talking about the match at Revolution, and they say, how about this? How about we have one more match? And, if you win, I'll be your butler forever. But it's like a street fight or a lumberjack match with arcade cabinets around the ring. That's what they pitched. I don't know what they're going to call it. I think it's going to be fun, though. And Orange Cassidy was playing a Fast and Furious... Well, he wasn't playing a Fast and Furious game. He was sat there. With no money in it, and then before he got off, he shifted the gear stick on it. Oh, it was fried, but it was fun. Sting comes out to talk about the street fight with Tony Schiavone. Before he can really, really talk, out walks Archer and Jake the Snake, and they sort of maybe not call their shot, but they just come out, and Archer says, "Look, I don't need to win a ladder match to let everyone know I am the face of the Revolution." Then they kind of get in Sting's way for a bit, and then Archer just goes, "You know what, Sting, this is your time to talk, I'll leave." And then Sting doesn't say anything and runs back. This was a weird segment, I don't know. Obviously, it was cool seeing Archer cut off Sting, but does this now mean we're transitioning to Lance Archer and Sting? Because I don't know how much I want to see that. I'm really not sure. Before the next match, QT Marshall was backstage with Lee Johnson, who was in the next match, and Dasha was asking about what happened on Sunday, and he goes, look, my emotions are the better of me, but it's okay. That's done. It's in the past. Now it's all about Lee Johnson. He's going to pick up another win. 2-0 in 2021 in singles matches. Let's go. But Big Shotty Lee was wrestling Ethan Page. And, it was a really good match. It was a very, very competitive back and forth match. I think with Ethan Page, who's not had a chance to shine on on a major level. Not that Impact's not getting there now, but like he's not had this major TV airtime yet. And with a guy like Archer, even though he hadn't, he's fucking 6'9", but like a brick shithouse. I think with Ethan Page, it was very important to show just how good he is in the ring. With a nice competitive sort of 10-minute match with Lee Johnson. And I really, really enjoyed it. Ethan Page was just being a dastardly man, and he picked up the win with a big old razor's edge. And yeah, getting his singles run in AEW off to a hot start. I'm very excited to see what they do next with Ethan Page. But after the match then, QT Marshall just jumped Lee Johnson. And then Dustin came out for the save. QT's fully turned heel, I guess. RIP to the realest tag team of all time. We cut to a promo from earlier in the day, and Alex Marvez is asking Adam Page what he's going to do with all of the money that he got from one of the big money match. But he pulls up on a ride-on lawnmower that's like has like levers to move it. It's not like a steering wheel; it's like fucking pushing it. It was amazing. He pulls up on that, and he's like, "Well, I bought a lawnmower, so if I've did that, who wants to go get ice cream?" And the Dark Order come over, and they all go to get ice cream. So they all jump on. Except for 5, because there's a weight limit, obviously. So all the Dark Order are on, except for 5, who just gets left behind as they drive off, and the thing tips up and does a wheelie for like a second. And Silver was like sat in between Hangman's legs. Oh, I retweeted the photo. I might even make it the thumbnail. I think I might make it the thumbnail. Yeah. Tony Schiavone's on the stage wanting to talk to Christian Cage because, he debuted. But before Christian can come out, the Kenny Omega's sweeping girls come out. And then Kenny and the Good Brothers and Don Callis walk to the ring. They just start cutting a heel promo. Don says that everything went to plan at the pay-per-view, and Kenny goes, not really. And Don goes, well, look, either it goes off like everyone expected it to, and Moxley's out, and we win. Or it goes off like that, Moxley and Kingston both look like idiots, and we win. And it was great. Then Eddie Kingston comes out. He just walks out, ready to go, like his 1998 B. As he said in his promo with Moxley, it's 1998 in my head B. He gets in the ring, goes face to face with Kenny Omega. Kenny goes, here's your one shot to hit the champion. And then he just floors him, and Kenny just like lies all splayed out for like a couple minutes. Someone lost both their shoes. I think Don Callis, while he was running out, both of his shoes come off. Maybe it was Anderson. Someone lost their shoes out of the 4 of them. It wasn't Kenny and it wasn't Gallows. But yeah, someone lost both shoes. Oh, I forgot to mention the best bit. When Eddie was in the ring, they start making fun of him. And Kenny, that's what it was. Before he hits him, he's like, they give him a countdown to get out the ring or something. And the 10, 9 starts going. Kenny hits the floor and he just starts screaming, Don, 69 me. 69 me, Don. And then Don jumps on top of him. Oh, and it was amazing. And then he drops him in one shot. The big brawl happens, the numbers are too much for Eddie Kingston, then Moxley comes out, they sort of fight the Good Brothers to the outside of the ring, and as Kenny stood in the ring, Christian Cage comes out, gets in Kenny's face, just stares him down. Kenny tries to shake his hand, he won't shake his hand, swings for him, Christian ducks, looks like he's setting up for the Unprettier, and Kenny dips out, but he's left his AEW World Heavyweight Championship in the ring, and Christian Cage picked it up, and oh my goodness. Oh, please give me Christian Cage debuting for that title against Kenny Omega. It'll be amazing. You can't go wrong with that. Britt Baker, Nyla Rose, and Maki Ito were taking on Thunder Rosa, Hikaru Shida, and Ryo Mizunami in a 6-woman tag match. Don't know what team came out first. I think it was the heel team came out first. Maki Ito was singing her song. And then the face team run out and jump the heels except for Maki Ito. And instead of getting involved, she just keeps singing on the ramp. She's not stopping. She gets her whole song out before then joining the match. It was class. It was amazing. It was a fun sort of TV match. Really, it was. All I can remember really is the finish and Maki Ito singing her heart out on that stage whilst everyone else was scrapping. Towards the end, Vicky Guerrero and Rebel get involved. Distracts Thunder Rosa enough for her to get hit with a spike pile driver, and the heel team pick up the win. After the match, then Britt Baker just starts jumping her. And locks in lockjaw. Rebel's like grating her face with the crutch. Amazing that her knees recovered in such quick time. I'm happy for her. But yeah, they just put the stomps on Thunder Rosa and set up something later on, which obviously at the end of the show before the main event segment, they go through everything that's coming up next week. Next week we're getting St. Patrick's Day Slam. getting St. Patrick's Day Slam next week, where we will have the Good Brothers versus Moxley and Omega, or Moxley and Kingston. And we're getting the first ever Dynamite Women's Main Event, a lights out unsanctioned match between Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker. And I can't fucking wait. We go backstage to the bar and Matt Hardy's there just eating grapes. He's back on the grapes. And he's there with a private party and he goes, look, we need to bring more money in for Matt Hardy Industries so I can support myself. But don't worry, I've made some smart investments and I've brought these guys into the Matt Hardy family. And it's Butcher and the Blade, so they've now got another charismatic heel leader now that Eddie Kingston's fully turned face. And next week they're in an 8-man tag, Private Party and Butcher and the Blade versus it's Bear Country and someone else, can't remember who. But this is the group that they have set out to destroy the Dark Order. We then had the TNT Championship match with Darby Allin taking on Scorpio Sky, and this match was class. It's just two wrestlers who have an amazing chemistry. I'd say this almost every week with AEW, but it just very fluid back and forth. Sky working a little bit more heel than usual. The finish came towards the end, obviously towards the end. Darby Allin went for the coffin drop, and Sky ducked under and power bombed him. I think only for a 2 count. Picked him up, and as he was swinging him around for a cradle shock or a TKO, kind of more like a cradle shock because he had to flip him up for the finish. Darby sort of rolled through into Schoolboy and picked up the win, only to immediately get jumped by Scorpio Sky right after the bell, who's now fully cemented his heel turn. So I don't know what that spells for SCU, but Scorpio Sky's a heel now. The Inner Circle War Council rounded out the show. They all get in the ring and, they say, our practices clearly aren't working, maybe it's time to add a new member. And Max goes, listen, Chris, if we're being honest, maybe it's time to get rid of one. Sammy's music hits. Sammy's back. Sammy Guevara is here. And he comes out and he goes, Chris, I know you don't want to talk to me, but listen, just watch this. Look at this. And he goes to the Tron and there's a footage. Sammy's put his phone in the Inner Circle locker room and he's filmed it earlier on in the night. MJF spoke to the rest of the Inner Circle and he goes, look, tonight's the night. Tonight's the night we cut the head off the snake and we jump Chris Jericho out the gang pretty much. And then Sammy and Chris are sort of stood there, squaring up to them. Max sends the Dogs of War after him. Ortiz, Santana, and Hager. And then they stop and they turn back to MJF, who runs to the corner, slips, is on his arse. And as they're all looking to beat him up, he starts crying. He's like, Chris, look, no one ever wanted to kick you out of the group. And he stops crying. He goes, because I was forming my own. Lights go out, lights come back. Wardlow, Tully Blanchard, FTR, and Sean Spears. Oh my god. And then they just fucking killed the Inner Circle. They murdered the Inner Circle. Santana and Ortiz got their hands cuffed, and then Tully hit the double spike pile driver with Cash with one of them and Dax with the other. Jericho was bust open and powerbombed off the stage by Wardlow. It was such a good segment, and then the show ended with the 6 of them standing tall on the stage, and I can't wait. We're getting blood and guts. We're getting blood and guts with these two groups. And I'm so excited. The Inner Circle is back to the original 5. They're now totally babyface, which kind of had to happen at some point realistically. And we've now got a new heel faction with, this is the thing that Spears has been needing. We all knew that Spears and FTR were going to team eventually. I always also thought that FTR would be fun with Max. But we got it finally. And yeah, that was the end of Dynamite. What did I think of the show? I thought it was a really good show actually. 10 out of 10. Some of the things could have hit a little bit more. I think the opening match was... Everything from the opening match to the end was really good. Nothing spectacular, nothing out of this world. But it was a really good show top to bottom. Progressed story a lot. Had a lot of good matches too. And I'm just so excited for whatever's going on with MJF's new heel stable. So yeah. That's it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did and subscribe if you're new. Leave a comment for any other sort of wrestling video topics you think might be fun that I might want to cover. I'll be back on Saturday with another episode of How Good. And yeah, until then, thanks for watching.